All right, welcome back to episode 3 of the Unqualified podcast. I'm Michael,
I'm Charles Buchlow.
and this is Chris Sorensen. He is our first guest speaker. He is a teacher, so we'll be going over a bunch of that stuff today. And Chris, so first and foremost, what school do you teach at?
I teach at Sierra Elementary School. It's down here in Placerville. It's a nice little school. It's surrounded by all these trees and stuff, super foresty, super nice.
Yeah, because you're out in California, right?
I am kind of up in the hills, though, not downtown.
So where are you, like, nearby, I guess, what major city?
Close to like Sacramento, but I'm super close to Tahoe. It's like an hour drive.
Oh,
So
from
right on that.
from
hmm
Lake Tahoe?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was actually in LA last week, and I think I texted you seeing if we can get together, but it's
hmm
way too far.
Yeah. It's like a 6 hour drive at least. It's like no traffic.
Yeah. So,
So you're in Northern California, right?
Yeah, like kind of like central, but it's like
Central.
way east.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I
I could
guess.
get to Nevada real quick.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, because I was just in Seattle,
hmm
Washington for Thanksgiving,
mm,
and
Nice.
well, honestly, I like it's all West Coast, obviously, but
Yeah.
it is so different from California. Even like I feel like Northern California really isn't that rainy or anything,
Yeah.
um,
No.
but Seattle obviously is so wet.
so you were
hmm
in Seattle for Thanksgiving. Did you just see
Yeah.
family or like how'd that go?
No, I was there with my partner Kylie's family, and you know Kylie, and we
Yeah.
just saw her family, and we were in Seattle, and I guess like it's not even a town because her dad lives in sort of like the boonies of Washington.
The
Nice.
So I don't
boonies?
even know. Yeah, the boot like you have no idea. Like on top of this hill that like has all these towny homes on it, and so you would never like be able to find it if you didn't know where it was. That kind of vibe.
That's
But
dope.
it's beautiful up there, and yeah, we just got literally back like 30 minutes ago, and I hopped right. So you guys better feel appreciated.
Yeah. So how,
Okay.
Chris, how's your Thanksgiving?
It wasn't too bad. I went down to Davis and saw some of my cousins, and I drove my grandparents down there. Just had a regular old family Thanksgiving. Me and my cousins were talking about video games, playing stuff on the side,
Sure.
just having a good time. But my parents, they actually drove down to LA for Thanksgiving
Oh,
to see my
nice.
brother down there. They're trying to get me to go, but I did not want to make the drive. It's like
Oh,
it's so long. It's
I
I
hear
just
that.
want to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
6 hours, like that's nothing to like. Oh yeah, let's go. A quick drive. I mean, shit. Me and CB did it when we went to Vegas a couple Januaries ago. Like we were just like,
Yeah,
fuck it,
dude.
let's go. Let's go out to
Um,
Vegas.
that was
Couple
so
January.
fun. A
Yeah.
couple Januaries ago, literally. Oh my God. So how was your Thanksgiving, Mike? What'd you do?
It was good. I went down to Houston. I saw my dad. Saw my dad's new girlfriend. So they're doing good. And
Mhm.
then the day after Thanksgiving, my dad is very work gung ho. Like let's get shit done.
Really?
So he's got this massive backyard. Like it's a quarter of an acre, just like in a residential neighborhood, just a backyard. And so
Nice.
he's like putting in like planter boxes and he's cutting like the back 15 feet off around the perimeter. So I had to move a bunch of brick and sand and
What
basically
is cutting the back 15 feet off for?
so basically he lines 15 feet. So we dug a trench and then we lined it with sand and then put a bunch of those like big bricks. And so it's all around the perimeter. And so
Cool.
he's gonna, do you know what chip drop is? So basically, in Texas, when they cut down dead trees, right, they mulch it. So they're like wood chips. So
Yeah.
the state will actually bring it to you for free and they'll just dump
What?
it in wherever you want it. And so then he's getting a bunch of those wood chips from the dead trees and he's chip dropping the back 15 feet. And so he's going to make that like a little nice planter area with new trees, fruit trees, and stuff like that. So it just looks
That,
organized and it's not
that's
because
baller.
Texas grass is shitty, like really shitty. So he wants to get like away from it as much as possible. And so we're dealing with that and putting all that in. It was literally 8:30 a.m. after Thanksgiving, hungover,
Work.
He's like, let's get to work, boy. I was
So
like,
funny.
Dang.
bro, like, I'm tired. I want to
Oh,
sleep. I'm on
yeah.
That's
vacation.
bunch of free mulch though. You can't beat that.
Yeah,
No, literally.
the mulch didn't come this week. I don't know when he's doing it.
Oh.
And then
Oh,
Thanksgiving was Thursday, Friday, so Saturday he made me stain the whole fence of the backyard. So I was out there just
how fun.
rolling paint, you know. No,
Hate
but
the fence.
dude, yeah, like it's like Mr. Miyagi type shit, dude.
Yeah,
Like wax
literally,
on,
yeah.
wax off type, you know. Like,
What about this?
yeah, dude. Now I'm like prepared to go fight. You know, like I know
Yeah,
how to.
You got the
let's get you set up for a
technique
taekwondo
down.
match
Yeah.
or a kung fu match. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so funny. That's good.
So-
So we are here to talk about teaching today and sort of the
Go.
intricacies about teaching. And obviously we have a semi-expert, a teacher in our midst, and hopefully he can correct some or all of Mike and I's inaccuracies.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. And so, kind of what I know is obviously like my experiences based on being a student. And so that's I feel like you get a small window into what like goes beyond teaching by being a student. And so like kind of what I know is I just know that like the teachers every day need to create a lesson plan. I don't know if they create it at the beginning of the year and then it rolls through the whole year, or if it's a set lesson plan created by someone else that they kind of just take over. But I know that they're working from a lesson plan and a curriculum that's likely passed down from the state. And from that, they teach all year. They teach semesters or quarters or whatever that is. And I want to say that most teachers that I know or I've heard of, they teach one class or at least one subject. And so from there, I kind of don't know the background or like the behind the scenes at all. That's kind of just what I know.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, depending on what grade you teach, you'll teach either a specific subject or not, because I teach only first grade. And so the kids aren't rotating between different classes or anything. It's all, I teach math, English, science, history, all of the above. And it's when you're in college and you're getting your degree to be a teacher, you make so many lesson plans for like every single lesson. You lay out like today I'm going to teach this lesson in math, and then this lesson in social studies, and then this lesson in English. So they're going to have you write up 3 different lesson plans and explain, what's the hook, how are we going to get the kids interested, what are you going to do, what's the activity, how are you going to connect that to their background. Like they have you hit all of these different subjects in each lesson plan. I don't think a single teacher, maybe they do, not at my school, no teacher makes a lesson plan before they teach.
Really?
Yeah.
So okay.
What do they work from?
Yeah. What? If you don't make a lesson plan, what are you doing?
So you just look at, here's what we're doing today. Whether
But
it's
how do you know
worksheet.
that? Like, how do you know
So
what you're doing?
You can, so for like our math, we have a math curriculum that the school gives us, and it's just a big math workbook. And so we don't do every single page in there. We just hit like kind of the key points, and then we'll do like fun little worksheets together afterwards. Because we just really hit what the standards are asking us to hit. So like we look at what the standards are, what do the kids need to know, and then we rip pages out from the book that line up with that. So if we're teaching, I mean, mine is super simple, like foundational level stuff. So it's like, we're focusing on addition today. I'm not going to make a big lesson plan about, okay, here's how I'm going to get the kids interested. Here's what we're like, I'm just going to look at, okay, here's what we're doing today. And then I know how I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to explain it. I'm going to connect it to the things that we've learned before. You just kind of, I mean, it's only my second year teaching. I taught last year, was my first year in first grade. But with all of the practice and all of the prep and everything that we did in college, I feel like it's kind of just drilled into your brain that like when you're thinking about how you're going to teach it, you just already know, like, okay, I can, last week we learned how to use a number line to count. So now we're going to go past that and try to use like our fingers instead, so that you can count whenever you want, instead of being like, wait, I need a number line, I can't count. So like we kind of just know what we're building off of and what we're connecting with. I feel like maybe in high school or in college classes, they might need a little bit more structure and more framework and to like kind of remind themselves of all of the different stuff they have to hit. But in first grade, you're not gonna be like, oh no, I forgot to tell them how to add. Like it's you got it down.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. I have a very, very,
Yeah.
very important question.
Yeah.
This is something
Yeah.
I've always wondered about. And in the movies, this thing that I'm referencing is always portrayed as like very fun and there's kind of a lot going on. What is the the teacher's room like where like the teachers go to relax and make food?
Yeah.
What's that called?
The lounge,
It's just
right?
like the staff
Teacher's
lounge.
lounge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
teachers
yeah,
lounge. Yeah, it's not very fun. I mean, it's cool.
yeah.
They got like a Keurig in there and
Oh.
some fridges and a microwave. You know, you can heat up your food if you want.
Oh.
But like, well, because like when you go in, at least in our staff room, it's like the first room has like everybody's like little cubbies that the administration puts papers in that you need and stuff. And then they got like the big copiers and stuff that we can all use. And then like past that is like the dining area, the lounge actually is there. But it's just like a bunch of tables. It's not like a comfy couch that you could like
Uh,
chill out
You
in
guys
or
lied
anything.
to.
yeah,
Ugh.
literally. It's not really a lounge. It's like a prison
Just a
cafeteria.
room. Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Fucking
it's
room.
like in every other
Oh.
like place that you work at, like an office, like lunchroom.
Mm.
It's like I'm sure that there are some cool ones out there, but this one is not very exciting. And even when I was subbing, all of the other schools that I went to, like sometimes I would eat lunch like in there to mingle with the other teachers and stuff. But yeah, like the rooms, it's never exciting. It's just like a kitchen, really, just a place to eat.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Kind
just,
of
Yeah, place to
disappointing.
work.
I mean, yeah. So, okay, well, another question. So, you were in college, you're doing your internships, right?
Yeah.
And so, having that perspective as a student, and then going into like you're still a student, you're subbing to get your degree to become a full time teacher. Like, how does the perspective change just like throughout the day to day basis of seeing it in class, actually doing it, and then learning how to be full time?
Well, it's interesting too, because like when I was doing all of the student teaching, like I was still a student.
Right.
And so like it was a weird balance of being like, okay, I'm kind of in control here, but I'm still having to like do my own work on the side. Like it's a weird combination of what you're like mentally focusing on, because now I'm just focusing on teaching. But before it was like, you're still like hyper focused on, am I following my lesson plan? Am I doing this right? Because you're like, when you're doing your student teaching, you have to like record your own lessons in class and then like submit them. So you got to make sure you're hitting all these bullet points. And so like even doing that, it didn't feel like teaching. It just felt like more schoolwork. And so it was
Oh,
a weird middle ground before you really got to just start teaching.
so then
But
like,
it's interesting. Yeah.
oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like
Uh,
as a substitute, then, you know, still being once again still being a student while you were in college, being that substitute teacher, like since you don't have your degree to become that full time teacher, how can they kind of let you be a sub? Like that kind of blows my mind.
you don't need a degree to be a sub
So
at all.
you don't
I
need
don't think.
any credentials to be any sort of substitute teacher.
Really? That actually makes sense because I mean, what I know is that it's extremely difficult to find a substitute for a teacher, and like taking those days off is not easy,
Yeah.
especially like if you're
Yeah.
sick or if you need to like if you're pregnant. And I would imagine that if like a teacher is pregnant or something like that, they need to take an extended leave of absence, and a teacher is go or a sub is going to be taking over a class rather than just subbing for one day.
Yeah.
Because when I was in high school, I mean, you would have to sub and you would do nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was a waste of a
Nothing.
day. And I'm sure
Yeah.
that's because these subs don't have to be certified. They sort of leave this lesson plan, go through this, try and see, get the kids interacted. But whatever, like it's a day
Yeah.
that's going to be thrown away. And so, but I would imagine that for the longer periods, they need someone qualified.
It's always nice, but
Sure,
sometimes
sure.
you just don't have
Mm.
access to that. And so some of the more reliable subs, you can try to reach out to them and see if they'll take on the long-term one. But also as a sub, the long-term sub jobs, they pay more. So when you're
Yeah.
there for X amount of days after a certain amount, then they give you like double pay, I
Mm.
think. So you start making bank as a sub,
Really?
you know,
Mm, sure,
Yeah.
sure,
I
sure.
usually.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still teacher
As a sub.
salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a sub. I think that's important to
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah. So,
But
Oh.
I know this might be like privacy issues or whatnot, but I'm always curious to hear like crazy stories students have done in classrooms. I know you may not be able to mention names or,
I mean, I could. Yeah.
like,
No.
yeah.
I mean, this year's been pretty chill. Nothing too wild. And I mean, last year was interesting. There's nothing like too crazy, really. And I feel like honestly, most of them. I feel like I've told you most of them, and then I just kind of forget them because it's just nonsense. And I'm like, I gotta get this out of here. But as far as like when I've actually been teaching, I mean, one of the kids, he just went outside and peed in the hall.
Oh, great. Wow.
Just, I don't know what that was about. He said he couldn't hold it, but the bathroom's like right there. And like, he's like, well, I can't run in the hallways. I was like, okay, but that's the one time you can.
Yeah.
Go. You gotta
Don't
go.
be in the hall.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So he
But
just,
then like, yeah.
oh
Go
yeah,
ahead.
he just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even like fathom him just
Weird.
like pulling down his pants and peeing in the hallway.
Yeah. He's just like, well, I gotta go now.
I feel terrible for that janitor who has to clean that up.
Yeah, literally.
God.
When I called him, he was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, oh, no, it's all good. I feel like a janitor in an elementary school, he's got a lot of nasty
You got a
stuff
lot.
to gotta
Yeah,
deal
that's
with.
fair.
Yeah, like we were at we planned the LA, or sorry, it was the Orange County Auto Show in California, for Toyota and stuff, and there was a customer who decided to take a shit in the back of a car.
What?
So literally, this is public day, show is open, hundreds of people in our booth, and this guy decided to get in, shut the door, pull down his pants, and take a shit in the car. And I'm like,
What?
so that just kind of reminded me after you said that. I'm like, who does shit like that? Like, you
He was
just.
probably pissing in the halls in first grade.
Yeah. We're looking back in the past. That's him in the past, you know?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
What?
I mean, like, it's one thing if he has to go so bad
Sure,
that
yeah.
he's like, okay, I gotta shit in this car. It's also another, like, there are so many bathrooms in.
You're also a
California.
grown-ass man.
Yeah. Okay, to be fair, I have this funny story, and I'm gonna air out my sister for a second because she told me this story.
Yeah.
And she was like, just, I think she was driving to the airport in whatever city she was in at the time, and all of a sudden she like had to poop super bad,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like this traffic was not moving, and she was like, okay, I can either poop outside or poop in my car, and it was one of those like she had to go, like
now.
you're not getting anywhere on this one, and so she like.
That's disgusting.
She found something in her car.
Oh my god.
I can't remember what it was, but she found like an object in her car to poop in, and she ended up hopping in the back, and she was like, pooped in her car into this thing, and I think she was saying like literally as she was going, traffic was clearing up.
She's like, I got it. Oh god.
And I think she was, if I remember, I could be totally wrong, but I think she was saying that like while traffic was moving, like this cop pulled up next to her while she's like pants down in the back of her car. And it was like, you gotta fucking go. Like, what are you doing? And she like climbs into the front real fast and gets out of there. And she, that's a no wipe situation. And that is rough.
She was the only one in the car. So like,
It was just her.
left
Yeah,
the-
just her.
That, I mean,
That's brutal.
we've been in
That's a
this.
tough situation.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in a similar situation.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right, so hear me out. We're getting way off topic, but
This is so funny.
we're driving home from Grand Junction back to Denver, right? And we're going up Eisenhower Tunnel, right? And it's just like a long wind up all the way before you get to the top to the tunnel. And so we are standstill traffic in the snow. Were we coming back from Blackhawk?
I don't even know. I think we may have been going to Black Hawk. I can't remember.
Whatever. And so we're stuck in traffic. And I just remember going up this hill, and I looked at CB, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna piss myself, right? And he's like, find a bottle, and I was like, okay, yeah. So then he's like, uh-oh. I was like, what? He goes, I gotta pee myself. I'm gonna pee myself. So we're over here like, okay, I'll go in the back. So I hopped in the back. I'm on my knees, right, with the window down, just like peeing in a bottle, right? And so I was
Oh.
like, whatever. And so CB's like, dude, I have to pee too. And I was like, oh my God. So traffic was like slightly moving. So I like climbed over the front seat, got in the front seat, and then he's in the back. And I was like, dude, we can't just have like pee in the car. So we're like dumping it out the window.
Oh God.
And this was not when we were first grade. This was like last year.
This was almost a year ago. It was like last
Yeah, it was
December,
probably
I
a year
think.
ago,
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
That shit was so funny. No, this was like it was last winter for sure. Because remember how icy it was getting to Blackhawk?
Well, yeah, because that's when I left Dallas to come to you so I could see you guys, see my family for Christmas, and then we spent a night with my mom in Blackhawk.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
right.
and then we got that like fancy room, free drinks, all that stuff.
That was
like,
hella fun, dude.
Dude.
That was so fun.
I got
Blackhawk was a good time.
my mom won like $900 off like
Dude, I
$10. I
know.
was like,
She wouldn't even give you 100. I was pissed.
I was like, Mom, you put $10 in this thing, you just won $900.
Oh
Like,
my God, dude. Oh God,
That's
so
wild.
funny.
Yeah, but anyways, that got way off topic
Anyway,
and real
teaching, yeah,
nasty.
wait, okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
So I also kind of feel like I don't know what it is about fucking movies, but I'll ask you this first, and I'll ask another question. But do you feel like there's any movie out there that is like sort of accurate to what the day to day in the classroom looks like, or is it all dramatized?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't. I mean, I've seen like the classic. Oh hey. Yeah. I've seen like what I can't even remember the name of the one. The guy goes into like that bad city and he's like, "How do I reach these kids?" Like the South Park makes fun of it.
Oh, I
That
don't
one.
know.
But no, it's not very exciting, really. I feel like most of the movies, yeah, they're super over dramatic and like,
Yeah.
I mean, School of Rock is a classic, but that one's pretty wild. That doesn't happen. That would be
Yeah,
highly illegal.
that's
It's a good movie, but you haven't seen School of Rock?
I've never seen
What?
School of Rock.
Oh,
It's
you gotta
actually
see
really
School of
good.
Rock.
Is it
It's a
really?
thing. It
Yeah.
is.
Oh, maybe I should watch it. I've been behind ever since me and CB stopped living together. I have not been on the movie grind like we used to.
It's an old movie. It came out when we were young, I feel like.
Yeah, very young, quite young. Yeah, like
Really?
early 2000s, late
Mhm.
90s.
It's not new by any means,
No,
but
it's
that's
still not.
it's a good one.
Oh yeah, I should probably
So,
watch that.
yeah,
Not
I was also
accurate.
thinking of like the Dead Poet Society. Like, is anyone standing up on their chair and being like, like interrupting class like that?
Nah. I mean, yeah, he went
Nah.
crazy with it. But yeah, even that whole movie, because I remember watching that in English class in like high school. We were all just like, even like watching it, we're like, no, nobody acts like this.
Yeah,
Like this is not. Not
Yeah.
even the kids don't get that like wild and hyped up about something. It would be fun to like try, but yeah, we're not standing on desks. That's a whole hazard. Someone's gonna fall off. You're gonna get sued. Their parents are gonna complain. Like there's just
yeah.
so many little things you gotta. It's like, well,
Interesting.
can't
Yeah,
can't do
that does
that.
bring me. One thing that makes me think of. I think in that movie, they're in a private school because if I remember, they have
They
like
are.
uniforms and stuff. And so
Mhm.
what I know about private schools versus public schools is that the private education is immensely better. And I don't know how much you know about private schools or anything like that.
I don't
I
know.
just see a complete distinction between public and private because if you're gonna pay money for something, there has to like obviously you're just going to receive a better
Some
education.
benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I sort of wonder what you see in terms of like quality and like demographics that come to public school and your ability to teach because personally like, after seeing like Denver public schools compared to where I grew up in the suburbs of Denver, like the quality of education I got was significantly better than even like just a different public school.
Yeah. Well, my school it's Title One school, so it's most of the families are socioeconomically struggling.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So, but that's just it's not for any reason other than that's just where the school is located. That's the general populace around it that attend the school. Um, but and I feel like most of the schools in Grand Junction were like that too. That I subbed at, almost all of them were in Title One.
So
That's
how
just
are
like the
they?
classification.
Yeah, like so how are they classified other than what you just mentioned, are they class like is there rankings for that instance? Is there like a different ranking system? Like how does that work?
It's honestly a great question. I don't really know because I've
I
only
mean,
ever heard people mention if it's a Title One school or not.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know if there's anything. I don't
interesting.
think that they have any differentiation between like, well, this school, like it's a very high income school because the
I'm
reason
gonna
why it's a
look.
Title One school, yeah, is because they offer like frequently there will be like um, groceries and stuff that are just free for the kids to take and like winter closets and stuff that just for any families that need it and things
I'm
like that
sure
and just
free and reduced
extra.
lunch and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just things like that just to help support the families financially. But that is a good question. I honestly don't know.
You have any
And yeah,
kids
when
in
I was
foster care that you know of in your classroom?
there were a few, yeah, but that's for some reason the information like that it's not available to us. So like I usually would learn about it at like a parent teacher conference or something.
Mm,
And because I would get their foster parents in there and then they'd talk about it. And I was like, oh, I did not know that.
yeah.
Which it's not like necessary that we know, but it is kind of important when you
Yeah.
like you start to notice some things and you're like, oh, well, like they don't. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, it's
Mhm.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I mean, for my job personally, I can shed some light on that. Like, I obviously I work at the Department of Human Services, and I work with foster kids in schools all the time. And most
Yeah,
teachers don't know, and a lot of that is confidentiality based. You know, we're
totally.
not supposed to inform them, except
Mm-hmm.
like the school is supposed to know, only so that the
Yeah.
parents cannot go and pick the kids up
Mm-hmm.
while they're in the system. And I mean, at some point they do like it's not hard to figure it out. Like especially
Yeah.
with like food scarcity in some homes and or if there's sexual abuse going on, those type of things are very noticeable and come out in school times. And like I've
Yeah.
had teachers call me and be like, "Hey, this kid did this," and I'm like, "Well, how did you find out that they're even in foster care?" You know,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
they're like the school's not. My confidentiality is much different than what it is within the school necessarily, and
Sure.
so I can't stop a administrator from telling a teacher that that kid's in foster care. And so I
Mm-hmm.
would imagine that word gets around sometimes as well, and from parent conferences, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
googled it.
Mm-hmm.
So a Title One school is based on the number of low-income students who are considered at risk for school achievement. To be considered a Title One school, a minimum of 40% of the students must qualify for free or reduced lunches. So they don't
Really?
rank it based on anything else. They rank it on percentages of who has the like
Who is attending the
yeah,
school? Yeah.
yeah. So if like
Yeah.
40% or more qualify for free lunch, you're a Title One school. But if 39% qualify for free lunch, you're not a Title One school.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Interesting.
guess I would assume there's like a different ranking system or whatever. But I guess it's only Title One or not, from what I'm seeing at least. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place, but it is Google.
That's, I
All right,
mean,
Chris.
from what I've heard, that's how it is. It's either like this, if the school's Title One, then you're like, oh, okay, just, and it's not like, oh, we gotta change everything. It's like, no, there's just
Mhm.
something to be aware of. But it's
Yeah,
always, it's
interesting.
either Title One or not, and I haven't heard any other classification as on the school side.
So you mentioned that you teach first grade. So is there a different grade you'd rather teach, or like is it the entertainment that you get from the first graders? Would you rather
Yeah.
be in a high school, college professor? Or...
For sure. Yeah, when I was doing my student teaching in college, they had me go to a first grade class and then a fifth grade class. And so, like, one whole year, I spent one semester at the first grade class and the second semester at the fifth grade class. And I liked the fifth grade class a lot more just because the kids are older. You can joke around more. They already have like that basic knowledge and you're kind of learning more interesting and more complex things. Still fifth grade level. It's not
Yeah.
that crazy, but you're doing like multiplication and fractions and stuff, and it's just more. I like math a lot, and so I was like, it's more exciting math and stuff that the kids will struggle on a lot more instead of just adding and subtracting. Um, but then when I did my final year of student teaching, it was all in a fifth grade class, and that was super super fun. And just, yeah, just the content knowledge that you teach and everything there is just a lot more exciting and just fun. But it is also it's different with the first graders too because they ask some really good and wild questions when you're learning some things. But when I started subbing out here, my plan was for the first year to just bounce around between all the different schools and figure out what I liked.
Right.
You know, the administration, the different staff, and just the school in general, figure out where I would like to go. But then I got a long-term sub job in this first grade class, and then it turned into a full-time job. The long-term just kept getting extended, and then finally they were like, "Do you want to just stay here? The original teacher's not coming back." I was like, "Okay, yeah." And so then I
Wow.
was in the first grade class, and at first I was like, "Oh God, I wanted to teach higher grades because it's more exciting and it's less. You're not like babysitting in first grade really. There is some like little things that you have to deal with, just their behaviors and social skills and sharing and just things like that you got to go over. But we do a lot of work and learn a lot of things in there. But I always in my head felt like I don't want to have to be like constantly on these kids about just little things that fifth graders they would be a little bit more conscientious of and more aware.
Right.
But after the first full year there, because it's a lot different than just doing a semester or a week in a long-term sub job, it was just so much fun just doing all these little art projects, like watching them go from barely being able to add to like adding two-digit numbers at the end of the year. Like it's huge growth that you can see. And just like their writing, they can barely spell like their name in the beginning of the year, and at the end they're writing like a whole little story about stuff. Like it's just cool to see. And like in the higher grades, you see progress like that, but it's not as drastic as like you cannot add now, and now you're adding like crazy, crazy in first grade
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but I did, and I still do in the back of my head. I kind of want to go back and get qualified to teach either probably college level
Wow.
math classes. Maybe we'll see how it goes, how these next couple years, if I get like burnt out on all of the first grade stuff that you have to do. And because I was thinking about teaching high school, but I subbed a lot at high school and middle school when I was in Colorado. And some, just the kids are, well, middle school especially, the kids are rude
Oh, yeah,
and
100%.
crass and
Preteens.
just nasty.
Right.
And, but like, it didn't bother me. I wasn't like, I didn't take it personally because I understand, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was in high school too, like I get it. I know how it goes. But in college, like, they might not be super engaged in the class, but like they're not going to be talking smack and, messing around. Like they're paying to be there, so they're going to at least sit quietly and listen. And you obviously make a lot more money teaching college
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
And I would be able to teach just math, which is what I like. And so there's lots of benefits, but it's also a lot of fun just working with these kids and doing all these fun projects and like for Halloween this year, I like got a big bowl of fruit punch and I put like dry ice in there, and so it's all
Oh, that's cool.
blew those kids' minds. They thought it was like the coolest thing ever. It was like it's just so fun. Like you can't do that with a bunch of high schoolers. They'd be like, "Oh, like cool. Can I have like some fruit punch now?" Like it's not,
Yeah.
it's not gonna blow their minds.
No, but
Yeah.
do you ever get like frustrated with like I don't want to say the lower level teaching, but more of like, oh, 8 plus 26 is, or 2 plus
What
What
is
is it
eight
like?
plus
4
What is
is
it?
26?
What is it?
30,
Yep.
34. I was like,
Very good.
Well done.
Very good.
Well
on the
done.
spot, dude, that's hard. That's hard.
Carry the one. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, am I gonna look this stupid right now?
Oh god. Yeah, imagine you like 32. Oh god.
Yeah.
I was like thinking, I'm like, I don't want to sound dumb. I didn't want to just be like, yeah. But math was never my strong suit, like.
Well, and see, so many people, even adults, but especially kids in school, like they hate math. That's like
Right.
their least favorite subject. It's like the most common hated subject, and I loved it. And so I was like, I would like to teach, just a math class. Get those kids in there, even like the lower level math classes, like or they like I don't care which ones, but just try to get those kids who hate it and struggle with it to see that like it is weird and it is complicated sometimes, but like once you see it and you understand, it's like a puzzle. Like you don't even, it's less worrying and thinking about like how am I going to do this, and more just like looking at it and being like, oh, I remember like you just do this. Everything is like the same. You always follow the same steps. You always get the same answer. It's not like English or science where it's like, well, you could do it this way, get two like four different answers that could be the right one. It's like, no, here's
Yeah.
how you do it. You get it, and as long as you know it, it's you got it.
Hmm.
But
But my
lots of kids don't like it. Yeah.
I got a couple questions for you,
yeah.
Chris. That does
Yeah.
raise. So you teach first grade,
hmm
and you've seen fifth grade. I
hmm
know you haven't necessarily seen the high school teaching, but what do you think is the hardest grade to teach?
A lot of people say that middle school is the hardest to
Mm,
teach because the kids are just wild, and you're still teaching like it's not super simple stuff. Like you're getting into some higher level stuff. You can take like, advanced classes in middle school. And so just the behavior of the kids is what makes it so difficult.
mm,
But then also a lot
interesting.
of teachers, even in elementary, they're like, "Oh, like first grade. Oh, like that's that good job. Like appreciate
Oh,
it. That's." It's like, I mean, it is like hard getting used to the kids and getting, wrangling them, for the lack of a better word, to follow along. And but like once you know what to do and you get like a system down, it's not hard. You get
Hmm,
used to it pretty quick.
interesting. And you kind of touched on behavior with kids there.
hmm
When you see behavior like kids that have poor behavior or are just like not getting the material, like the kids that can't figure out the subtraction or can't figure out the handwriting or the
hmm
addition or whatever they can't figure out, do you have much say if you're gonna hold that kid back, or would you even hold that kid back?
I don't remember when it was passed, but the No Child Left Behind Act, I don't know if that was even an act. You cannot hold kids back
Mm,
ever
wow.
at all. It's not an option. Um, and so I don't. There's no say in whether we should or should not. There are definitely some kids that would benefit from it because they do struggle super super hard. And like, if I ever notice that someone's struggling, I try not to yank them out during like recess because I don't want to take away their fun free time. I'll try to like, give everybody else something that they can work on individually, and I'll sit down with them one on one or a small group if multiple kids are struggling, and we'll, review it, have them ask me questions, try to like walk through it and get them to, just more practice and hopefully get them to understand it. But it's yeah, there's no holding them back. This, we just don't do that anymore. But there are definitely some times where it would be a good choice. And
appropriate
because it's
choice.
interesting too when they're that young, because like even just from first to second grade, like their behaviors change quite a bit. Not like wildly, but just like the maturity level is different. They're extra silly in first grade, and then in second grade, like they're still goofy, but they're a little bit more feeling like they're getting older and stuff. And so sometimes like towards the end of first grade, like last year, there's some kids that I had that like are mentally like behaviorally still acting really young. And so like even if they were to be held back, it's not like they would feel like out of place and, you know, feel like this isn't where I should be. Like I'm grown up. Like, yeah, so it's interesting.
And then
But yeah, we can't do that anymore.
Hmm,
so my mom used to be a preschool teacher, and so
hmm
I mean, she only taught preschool, and I'm not knocking preschool. I'm just saying, but she worked after hours, weekends, planning. I mean, it's preschool. I mean, she's still doing all the planning. Getting everything taken care of. Like, does that level of work, I guess, increase from grade level to grade level, or how does that kind of level of working outside of school hours, increase between first grade and college, for example?
I feel like in the lower grades, you'd have to do more work because the kids can't do as much on their own.
Okay.
So, like, if we're doing an art project in class, I got to cut out a bunch of pieces and get it all set and get it ready. I can't just give it to them and say, hey, here you go, because they're not going to do it right. They're not going to know what to do. So, like, you got to prep everything, get all of the things ready, get like ready to explain it and show it to them like step by step and do everything. And because even when I was student teaching in the 5th grade class, like we didn't do very much prep after work. And the teacher that he was like my mentor teacher. He was really good about like, I'm going to get all of it done right now so that at the end of the day, we don't have to do anything. And we
Wow.
almost never stayed after school was out. Like maybe a little bit just to like, organize some stuff in the classroom or like, oh, I got to go grab this box from the closet, bring something out. But and I feel like in college too, like you got to prep like your slides for your presentation and stuff. You got to prep like, what are you talking about? But you're not having to, oh, I got to cut out all these brown construction pieces of paper and print out like the gingerbread house. I got to cut out
Right.
they're not doing that. They don't have to decorate their classroom for Christmas. Like they're not doing any of that. They're not, oh, let me put up 48 pieces of student art all across like the classroom. Like they don't got to do that.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
not part of it. So it's just a lot more little stuff like that that the younger grades have to go through. Because I'm there real late almost every day. And like I could just bounce when school is over, but then there would just be so much stuff that gets piled up, just little stuff. And it's not
Right.
like big projects that I have to work on. It's like 10 little things that take like 15 minutes each, but it stacks up. And then I'm getting one done, and I'm like, oh, I have to do this. Then I start working on that. And the other thing's not done yet. And I'm bouncing back and forth. And I mean, that's my fault, but there's still just lots of little stuff.
Do you ha-
But I
Absolutely.
feel like the higher grades that you go, it gets a little bit easier with the prep work that you have to do. But
so
again, I don't have a ton of experience with that.
you mentioned that you teach all subjects, right? So math, science, reading, writing, all that stuff. I just
Yeah.
remember in elementary school, for me, we went to, I don't even know what it's called, like activity classes, I guess. Your PE,
Oh,
your music,
yeah,
your
yeah.
art. So do you do those as well, or?
No, no, no. So they have a
Oh,
PE teacher and they have a music teacher. I mean, we do all the art in our room. So guess I'm technically the art teacher, but we're not really teaching any art. We're just making stuff. I don't teach like paint patterns or anything like that or how to
cross
draw
hatching, yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, Chris, I have a challenge for you.
oh God,
Oh
oh
no.
God,
So
this
we're
can't be
gonna
good.
prove your qualifications here.
Oh no.
So I have Googled questions from the show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I'm gonna ask you
Okay.
10 of them. Okay?
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna start out really easy, okay? And hopefully they get harder, or I'll find harder questions. So in what month do Americans go trick or treat?
October.
October. You got that right. Good
Close
work.
one, close
Oh,
one. Yeah, yeah,
oh.
yeah.
So, what gas do humans need in order to live?
It's gonna be oxygen.
That's also correct.
Nice.
So, what is the hardest mineral?
I mean, is it diamonds?
It is diamond. Yes,
Mm.
yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
So, what does a paleontologist study?
Oh, brother, they study dinosaur bones. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid.
Yeah, fossils. They study fossils.
Fossils. Dinosaur bones are fossils. I guess you
Okay,
can
are you
get
ready?
seashells and stuff. And
Yeah. So, are you ready for a tough one?
no.
Okay, you're ready. Um, in colonial America, what was the Sugar Act?
See, history is not my strong suit. It's
Let's
math.
take a guess. Come on, take a
Sugar
guess.
Act. Did they colonial America? Did they
It was a
just put a
tax
big?
on
I
something.
was gonna say, did they put a big tax on importing sugar?
Nope. It was a tax on molasses and wine.
Molasses.
Oh, that's just
Molasses.
brown sugar. It's what they mix a little bit of molasses in regular sugar to make brown sugar.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So,
I'm
who
not into that.
invented the light bulb?
That was Thomas Edison.
That's right. That is right. You ready for this one?
What are you
I
laughing?
don't know.
You're never gonna know it.
Oh God.
Which general led U.S. troops during the Vietnam War?
Oh God.
If you know this, you win. You win.
General Eisenhower.
Nope. General William Westmoreland.
That's
I
close.
wouldn't expect you to know that. I don't know. Why does a fifth grader know that
Yeah,
one?
there's
Is
no-
what
I don't
wanna
think they teach the Vietnam War in 5th grade.
know.
I don't-
Got you.
I don't know
Apparently
that.
they do. Maybe this is like the top tier of fifth grade. You know, that
I
really,
guess,
really nice private school.
The advanced history classes.
Okay, are you ready for another question?
Hmm.
So what is 14 times 5?
70.
Yep. Nice. So the
Dang.
Tropic of Capricorn lies in which hemisphere?
Ooh. The southern.
Southern hemisphere. Very good. Okay, 2 more questions.
Okay.
What are the large rocks that orbit the sun between Mars and Jupiter called?
Is that like the asteroid belt?
I see. My first thought was that too, but it is just asteroids.
Oh, just asteroids. Okay.
What is the
Oh, well.
plural form of the word deer?
It's deer.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Hey, it
That's
sounds like
tricky.
you might be smarter than a fifth grader. You just might
I
be.
better be.
That's why he's a teacher,
Okay.
you know.
All right, all right. It sounds like
Smarter
you're
than a
qualified to
first grader.
teach.
I got
Whatever.
that down.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
what's
catch you up.
what's 2 + 2?
6.
6.
Yeah, nice.
Hey, but you might need a little bit of work on the Vietnam War. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I got to get these kids learning about it clearly. It's
Yeah,
important.
yeah. Start early. That's all I'm saying.
Prep them for 5th grade.
Yeah. On the
first
show,
grade.
are you smarter than a fifth grader? Did they have like a fifth grader there to
Yeah,
also
they got a
teach them?
bunch of 5th graders. They
Okay, that's I couldn't remember.
yeah. Mhm.
Some people
like
get
that
like
shit.
real like adults lose to 5th graders.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they also ask like questions that they do not teach in 5th grade.
Oh,
They
Yeah.
ask like that Vietnam, like they don't teach that in 5th grade. That's not something that they talk about.
You don't think they're teaching the Vietnam War? I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if it's like a certain school that they're choosing from that has that in their curriculum that they're choosing that from.
I don't know, because
Not
I did
sure.
do a full year of 5th grade, and all of the history that we did, it was yeah, I mean like America being founded and like all of the trades, the deals that were made to buy the land, and then it was like old like Asian culture of learning how like gunpowder and stuff like that was made, and
Mm,
we weren't learning about wars, the Vietnam War or anything like that.
interesting.
wow, that's crazy.
Mike,
Tough stuff.
ask him a question about if he's see if he's smarter than a fifth grader.
Yeah,
All
what do you
right.
know, Michael?
Well, this is unqualified. I really don't know shit, but
That's fine.
let's see. What do I got? 5th grade level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Chris, while he's thinking, do you watch The Office by chance?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay,
watched
cool.
it a lot.
Okay, that.
Oh, he's
When you
seen
mentioned
The
the
Office.
cross hatching,
Yeah, yeah.
we were talking about
Jim.
Cece's drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dwight's like, this is a really advanced crowd.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like we're always talking about The Office. Anyways.
I know. We'll,
Good show. Good show.
we'll do some trivia after this. Office
There you
trivia.
go. There you go.
I don't know if I can just pull one off the top of the dome here.
No, like what I
Okay.
was thinking is like, when was America founded?
Do you know that, Michael?
Or when did Columbus sail the ocean blue?
Okay, hold on.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I know that one.
When did the... Oh, I don't know if this is 5th grade, and I don't really know how to word it, but when did the Star Spangled Banner get created? Like, national anthem. I don't know if that's 5th grade material or not.
Do you know the answer?
I don't.
Oh.
All right. I got a real one. I got a real one. And I know the answer.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this one's fine. So who created the American flag?
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you know that one?
I do know this. I know the answer.
I'm talking to Michael.
Oh, I don't know this.
It's Betsy Ross.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Two rows, yeah.
Damn, I
In
really.
1776.
All right. Do you guys want to do a little office trivia?
Yeah, we got our last few minutes here. Let's
Yeah.
Okay.
get some office trivia in.
So Mike, I don't know if you've ever done this with Mike and me, Chris, but Mike
Well,
and I go crazy.
Yeah, when you guys were doing the last one, talking about like the whales on his
Yeah.
tie, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Okay. So Mike, I want you. Let's ask Chris one first, and we'll see if Chris and I know it, and then I'll think of one. So let's see what you got, and then Chris, you can ask us one.
Nah, do you have one off the top of your head, CB?
I don't have one on the top of the dome, but I could probably think of one pretty quick. Okay. Mike texted me this one the other day, Chris.
Oh yeah, I did text you that one.
What is the pizza place? What is the best pizza place? Is it Pizza by Alfredo?
Alfredo's or Alfredo's
Pizza Cafe.
I think it's Alfredo's Pizza Cafe is the right one.
That
Pizza
is
by
that is the good
Alfredo's
one.
is hot garbage.
That's the correct answer. That is true. That is true. That's a good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
This is
So
a tough one. Oh,
ahead.
sorry. No, you
Go
continue.
ahead. No, I have nothing.
This is. You know it. I think both of you know it, but I think it's a tough one. How many minutes did Michael Scott work in the office?
Oh, because they said it in the song too.
Yeah, I don't
The
know. It's like,
It's a lot.
yeah, what is it? I don't know.
9,986,000.
Fuck. Would you have known that?
Not off the.
1,000 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I don't know the answer to this one, but I kind of want to see if you or if anyone watching knows it. Throw it in the comments, because honestly, I don't know if we'll get it.
Okay.
What is the folder that Dwight pulls out that contains the like the Dunder Mifflin Holy Grail treasure trail?
What?
You know when Dwight or Jim sends Dwight on the hunt for the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What folder does Dwight pull out from a client, like the client folder does Dwight pull out to that sends him on the hunt that has the first clue?
Hmm.
And if you guys know the first clue, that could also be incorporated in it.
I don't remember. It was
I
like a
can't remember
person's
it.
name.
Yeah, it was like a
It was
client. It was
supposed
like
to
an
be a
old
person.
client. He says like, Dwight's like,
I don't know.
look at this one. We haven't had this in ages, and then he opens it up, and there it is.
Mm.
Can't remember.
Oh.
Okay, we have to come up with one that we know.
Okay. This is like a two-parter, I guess you could say. I'll ask both questions and see if you can get one or both, okay? What is the name of the race that Michael created to cure rabies? And then who won that race?
Oh, the who one's easy. It was Toby.
Okay, sure.
And it's the Michael Scott race for the cure. Am I close? Am I sort of on?
Michael
the Michael
It's a
Scott.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Michael Scott Fun Run. Race
No.
for the Cure. Do I have Fun Run right?
Hold on.
I feel like Fun Run was in there.
No. Fun Run's in there, but it's nowhere near the
Okay.
beginning.
The Michael
the fact that you had
Scott.
to look that long.
No. Is like the fourth word race or something like what?
I'll give you the first 5 words.
Okay.
Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton.
Race for the Cure. Fun Run.
Rabies awareness.
No,
I have no idea.
it's Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the Cure.
Oh my god.
my
I
God.
forgot he also blasted Meredith in the beginning of that episode.
Molest. Oh my god. Well, don't forget that
Oh.
Dwight was the one that actually gave her rabies in the first place.
Yeah,
With the bat.
with the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
fair. That's fair.
last one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What does Dwight always keep an extra set of in his car for special occasions? He says it once and once only.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me the episode?
I can't.
Do you have that?
I don't.
Extra pair of? Is that what you said? Extra.
It's a cold
Extra
open.
set.
So it's not related to any episode. It's just a cold open, I
Can you
believe.
say the question again?
What does Dwight always keep an extra set of in his car for special occasions?
Wow.
Like nunchucks or something.
I was kind of thinking along those lines too, but I was also thinking like paintball guns maybe, or like
Oh, yeah.
what do you got? Tell us the answer.
Birkenstocks.
No, that was-
Birkenstock. That must be in like the second season before
Yeah,
the party, maybe.
it's early. Oh, maybe I don't
What
know.
was the cold open? Why was he? What was the
Yeah. What?
special?
I was thinking, I don't. Do you know? Did you know, Mike?
No,
Did you
no.
have known that?
I knew that. Well, if you said it, I probably wouldn't have got it. But like now that it's like, oh shit, Birkenstocks, I remember that, But
Mhm.
no, I would not have got it off the top of my head.
Interesting. That's wild. I want to come up with one. God, I can't come up with one.
Dude, I
I'm
could
trying to think
sit
one,
here
too.
and look at cold open stuff all day
Oh,
long.
I know. I
love office trivia.
feel that. Yeah.
No.
Okay. What is Phyllis's maiden name? Last name. I know this one.
Oh, it's
I'll give you a hint when you're ready.
yeah, give me the hint.
L. Starts with an L.
Phyllis Lappin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
that's
like
right.
that. Phyllis
Yeah.
Lappin.
I thought it was Lipton.
or Lipton.
Lipton?
Something. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Starts
I don't
with yeah.
remember either of those.
That's a hard one. Like,
That's that's.
all right.
Well, there's so many. Yeah.
Wait, in the episode where they go to Robert California's like house,
hmm
what was in that jar that he opened that was like a powder? Do you remember what it was?
Ooh,
He like gave it to
Did
I
he?
think
who?
Ryan and Andy. Andy like snorted it, I think.
No, that's a different
No, that's
episode.
not. Yeah, that's
That's a
at
different episode?
yeah.
That's
at
Gabe's
party.
house. Yeah.
And he
Gabe's,
smells
that's right.
like seahorse essence of seahorse or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he drinks it and he goes, I think
Yeah.
I'm a seahorse.
Boop, 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 boop.
yeah.
Oh
Right.
my god,
That's so
a good
funny.
one.
That's a good episode.
Oh, yeah.
All
All right. Well, that's enough of the teaching episode. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you, Chris, for being on the episode. And we will see you next week with another guest star, and we will be
Cool.
talking about cars.
Perfect.
Ooh.
All right. Thanks,
Nice.
everybody.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Of course.